And I want you to, would you please stand when I call your name? Thank you very much. So Amy Ricken, who we love, is from Great Oak High School. And I've known Amy for a lot of years. Yes, and she's awesome. Darlene Wetton's here from Temecula Valley Hospital, the CEO. And it is an award-winning hospital on the national level. So any of you people who are interested in medicine, and if you're sitting at a table with a mentor, if you know and have an idea of what you want to do, and your mentor is not that career, no problem. Before you leave today, you can go down the list, find people who are doing that career, and they love to talk to you. So we also have Lisa Mispika, and I've known her since she was a little girl. She is an Olympian, believe it or not. So if any of you have aspirations to be an Olympian, if there were cookie-eating Olympics, then I'd probably be okay. Leah Di Bernardo, I've known her for at least 30 years. She's awesome. And she'll tell you, I always say she's the mother of farm to table. She owns a restaurant, she manages, she has a large business, she travels. But her first career will interest you. She was a producer at MTV. Oh, see? So, be sure to ask her about that. Okay, Tammy Marine is here for Habitat for Humanity, and they're a great partner with the city of Temecula. Nonprofits are a great career, and I have been CEO of nonprofits. I can Johnson, who's here, defense attorney, and I'll say it again, I've known everybody forever, and she is awesome, has always been very supportive of the city. Paula Crowell is our fantastic IT manager, and she lets me call her in the middle of the night and on weekends, and she just got me a new phone that is so very exciting, and she is wonderful. And then we have Elsa Weigel. Where are you, Elsa? She has an amazing story to tell, too. Code enforcement, and she is one of only 2 people in the county that has a degree in chemical engineering and works in code enforcement. And because they work with hazardous materials, chemicals mixing, causing fires and explosions and toxic gas and things, she is perfect for that job because Temecula only has the best. So we only have the best, so thank you, Elsa. Julie No is known. In fact, we were just in an event, and somebody was trying to pronounce her name, and somebody said, is it Julie now? And everybody yelled, no. And he said, well, then what is it? And we're going, no. He said, I know, but what is it? Yeah. So I got up and went to the microphone, and I said, her name is No. G-O. She has been president of the chamber. She's been president of Temecula Rotary Club, which is a huge undertaking, and they just fed 400 families for Thanksgiving, and they're going to repeat that for Christmas. Yeah, and she has State Farm. She's my insurance agent, too, so State Farm Insurance. She's awesome. And then Kim Garrish is Michelle's Place, the CEO of Michelle's Place. Michelle's Place deals with... First of all, Michelle's Place was founded on behalf of a young woman who passed away from breast cancer, and her parents founded Michelle's Place. And for years, they dealt with women and supported women and men, actually, who were in the midst of chemo, had just been diagnosed, were finishing chemo, every stage of dealing with cancer, and they would provide things that they needed or give the referrals and, a helping hand and support. So the city held a cancer task force a couple of years ago because I wanted to know why are cancer patients in Temecula, why do they feel like they have to leave the valley and go to either UCLA or, Scripps in San Diego or go to the big cities? So we did a survey, and we had this cancer task force, which involved all the local cities, all the hospitals, including Scripps, and every hospital up and down the 15 freeway, and including San Diego and Loma Linda. And we looked at all kinds of things. We found out we do have the resources here, And we found out we had lectures from experts and professionals telling us what different kinds of cancer and how to deal with them today. And we ended up providing, because of that, we made a cancer resource guide. Michelle's Place stepped up, having been, specializing in breast cancer all those years. They now, as a result of that cancer task force, are dealing with all individuals with all kinds of cancer. And that was a huge increase in their outreach. And they had to get a new building in order to fit everyone. So it's a wonderful service for anyone who has cancer and needs a referral or needs products or any support. And then Randy Joel is amazing. Now, if I say city clerk and you don't know what the city clerk does, your first thing when you hear clerk is the person that helps you in the supermarket or at the drugstore. And yes, that's true. But the city clerk, she's also our director of legislative affairs. She's also an attorney. So this woman is a wealth of knowledge. She knows everything there is to know about government, legislation, and the law. And so you can pick her brain. And plus, she's a mom. She's my friend. She's a great staff person. She's head of that department. City clerk runs all the elections. They keep all the documents, runs all the meetings. She has a huge job. Plus that, she keeps track of all the legislation, which in California is a mind-numbing job to try and do that. So we love Randy. So if you want to do anything with government or the law, you're in the right place. Erica Rousseau, now I don't know, Erica was out. Is she? Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. So Bea is here, and Bea is wonderful. Community Services Department does so many things in Temecula. All the events, all the fun. We call it the fun department. They do the theater. They plan all the events in Old Town. How many of you went to the parade? Did you go to the parade? You did not go to the parade? Oh, it's one of the things that makes Temecula feel like a small town. So community services, they do all the youth sports. Plus, in addition to that, they handle the street lighting and things like that, utilities. So Bea is here, and her specialty is the community theater. She is Mrs. Community Theater. She books everything. She knows every talented person in Southern California. So if you are a performer, you need to talk to Bea. No pressure, but yeah. Jessica Alexander, of course, is here. She's my fellow council member. And let's see. Oh, she's been a New York police officer. She's been a Marine. She's a mom with 5 children, and she still is breathing. So I thought that was pretty good. And she is this, is your title CEO of Birth Choice? No. Center Director for Birth Choice. And Birth Choice is a wonderful organization that counsels women or families, about their options. It's pro-life, of course. And they also serve young women who have babies and don't have diapers or need things like that, or they need counseling or they need referrals. So Birth Choice is a wonderful, wonderful organization. So, I don't know how you're even standing. I had 3 kids under the age of 4 and thought that was a load, but she's doing great, and she's a great council member too, so thank you very much. I was the only female on the council for 12 years, so it's so nice to have somebody else, so that I'll just be real crass and say that, we can have the toilet seat down if we want to in the shared bathroom, so thank you very much. It's just one of those practical things. Then we have Mary Jo Ramirez, Executive Director at California Family Life Center. Thank you for coming, Mary Jo. And so, again, nonprofits are a great way to go if you are service-oriented, and you can even go and volunteer and see if that's the kind of thing you like, or you can pick your specialty. It can be babies, it can be, cancer patients, it can be senior citizens, anything. Nonprofit habitat, building homes, providing homes, outreach. So you have a really nice choice here today, but I think the most important thing is that you can do anything. Dream big, and then find people who are going to help you with that dream and encourage you, and stick with those people. Stay away from the negative people and stay with the people who are going to tell you and help you and encourage you. So go ahead and have breakfast, take advantage of everybody at your table, and then we'll be back in a little bit. Oh, I don't have to introduce myself, do I? I'm Marianne Edwards. I lived here 34 years, and if you volunteer enough, you get to be the mayor.
Hello. Before we start our table discussions, we want to let the mentors stand up and share something about themselves, okay? So we have the microphones. We'll start right here. Yep, go ahead. And then get a microphone on the other side. Stand up for 1 minute and introduce yourself. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming out. What a special event this is. My first time being here, and just being able to meet all these young ladies at my table, and hopefully I'll be able to meet some of you as well. I think Marianne Edwards had talked about me so well. Thank you. I've been all over the world. I've lived all over the world. I've traveled to over 18 different countries. Again, New York City police officer, United States Marine, 5 kids, a husband who was in the Marine Corps. Still, he's actually getting out this week and retiring. We're very excited. So, but I tell you, as a city council member for a year now, it has been an incredible journey. I just tell you this, if you have a dream and you have a vision and you see it, keep stepping 1 foot at a time. If there's anything, try not to go too fast sometimes, because sometimes we'll end up stumbling. So if there's anything I can tell you, just 1 step at a time. Keep moving on the righteous path, and you will do wonderful, incredible, marvelous things. So I just wish you all the best of luck, and I look forward to getting to know more of you. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies. This is an honor to be here. This is my second time here. I've worked for the city of Temecula for 16 and a half years. I did start at the theater. I have progressed to become a community services over the community services department. And I'm the Park and Recs kid that went to the ballet classes and the tap classes in my hometown of Carson. And I'm here because arts education played a huge role in my life. I still keep in touch with my director from high school. He's about in his 90s. He has had such a profound influence on my life. I'm a graduate of UCLA, class of '88. So if anyone has questions about that or aspiring Bruins, I'm happy to talk to you. I didn't start out in public service, but I'm sure glad I ended up here. This has been the most rewarding career. Public service is my professional calling and my passion. So if you have any questions for me, I have my business card and I have brochures galore, and I hope to see you at events in the theater. And thank you for having me today. It's an honor.
You want to do it other side?
Yeah. Tammy Marine.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tammy Marine, Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity Inland Valley. It's so nice to see all of you today. I have been 30 plus years actually in nonprofit work. It's just a wonderful profession. I have a degree in business management and then finished at Cal State San Marcos with a certificate in nonprofit leadership because they didn't have a degree program at the time. Now they do. A lot of young people skip over the idea of nonprofit work as a career. They think of more of it as a volunteer opportunity, but I can tell you it's a wonderful, enriching career that I'm very proud to have served, because you get to go home and feel like you're helping people at the same time as working in a wonderful profession with wonderful people. So I look forward to talking to some of you today, and thank you for having me.
Amy Ricken.
Good morning. I'm Amy Ricken, the principal at Great Oak High School, the first female principal at Great Oak High School. That's fun. And I just wanted to also introduce, I'm joined this morning by my instructional counterpart, Dr. Amber Lane, who's here, also been a principal and is currently our assistant principal, but she's a USC undergrad and doctoral candidate, so we've got UCLA, USC over here. Like Lisa, I was a high school All-American, played volleyball at the University of Michigan, and coached at 3 different colleges before my husband and I kind of left. He played professional baseball, and we did the coaching baseball thing, and then now he's a police sergeant here for Riverside Sheriff's Department, and I went into education. We are going to have a teacher shortage, so Dr. Lane and I this morning are more than willing to dangle any carrot we can in front of this amazing group of young women, because we need some phenomenal educators coming up in the next few years. So if you're interested in any educational pathway, please come talk to us.
All right. Kim Garrish.
Good morning, everyone. I am Kim Garrish. I'm the executive director of Michelle's Place, as they mentioned, a nonprofit organization. I was their first employee 18 years ago. Like Tammy said, back then there was no degree for nonprofit management. You kind of just, thank you, Marianne. I was 7 years old when I became the executive director. You stumbled into it, but like Tammy said, it is it's a passion. It becomes something that it just drives you every day, because you see that you're making a difference in someone's life. And so I am extremely grateful to have had this position and grown it to where it is today, and to build the region's only cancer resource center. It's something I'm super proud of. I'm a graduate of San Diego State University with a journalism major. Again, stumbled into nonprofit world doing marketing for them. And I've lived here for 21 years, and love calling this place home. So we also hope and encourage that when you grow up and be what you want to be, that you stay here and be that great person in our city. So thank you for having me today. I'm excited.
Randy Joel.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Randy Joel. As the mayor indicated, I am the legislative director and the city clerk for the city of Temecula. I've been called everything from the Leslie Knope to the Olivia Pope, so anywhere in between, because we just do so many different things in the office, everything from elections to voter registration to council meetings to 800 public records requests a year to just pretty much everything. And then we work with the community a lot as well. We do a lot of boards and commission work and just make sure that we are providing really good services for the community regardless of what it is that they need through the city manager and the city council offices. As far as my background, I am a graduate of Trinity Law and Graduate School. I wasn't sure when I got my degree if I was going to practice, if I was going to teach poli-sci, if I was going to be a lobbyist. So don't lock yourself into your degrees. I was a single mom at the time, and I knew I didn't want to bill 80 hours a week to make associate or partner. So that was 20 years ago, and I'm still in local government. And we, too, are having a massive shortage of next-gen government. And it could be anything from local, state, feds, but we need you guys to come and make a difference in your communities. You guys are all more than capable of doing it. I've been doing this particular program for several years now. This conference always gives me so much energy. So thank you guys for being here this morning.
Elsa Weigel.
Good morning. My name is Elsa Weigel. I'm the fire marshal here in the city of Temecula. And I have been here with the city now for almost 17 years. I did not start here. I started on the private side. I actually have 2 engineering degrees, mechanical and chemical engineering. Worked in the private side, traveled all over the world prior to coming to the dark side, they say. It was probably the best decision I ever made. A lot of people don't realize how many opportunities there are in so many of the divisions in fire. As far as the engineering side goes, I am not a firefighter. I am a geeky engineer. I deal with everything from the new construction to process with developments to make sure everybody stays safe for the community as well as our first responders. I love what I do. I wouldn't change it for anything. Engineering side is a great opportunity. And then several years ago, I went out on a limb, and I am a sole proprietor owner of a motorcycle service and performance race shop. Do motor upgrades, everything you can think of for racing. We're drag racers. So I do that outside of this. a lot of opportunities on that engineering side. So if anybody has any questions in regards to engineering services, different fields, I'm pretty well versed on all the different levels. Please feel free to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you, guide you. And as usual, I'm so happy to see all your faces here. This is a great program. We love doing it with Mary Ann, and we hope to see you guys out here in the future in our community.
All right. Darlene Wetton.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. I think this is my maybe third or fourth time doing this, and I always enjoy it. I had the privilege of coming to Temecula to open the hospital. So I've been here about 9 years. It was a dirt field that first year and got to be part of the construction team. And I learned so much from that part of my experience. Always wanted to do interior design. Didn't get accepted into that college. Couldn't afford it back then. So this gave me an opportunity to design a hospital. And what a ball that was. So a lot of fun to build a new hospital and then to be the first employee and bring on, now we've got about 1,100 employees and 400 doctors. We have a great volunteer division. We have a couple hundred volunteers at the hospital. And it's a wonderful place to have, in this community to really make a difference in the health of the community. So we have a lot of medical students, we have nursing students, and we have a huge need for those of you that want to enter into the health field. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. I'm a nurse by background. Started out in the JC route so I could quickly get through my nursing degree and get a job while I went back for a bachelor's, which took me like 7 years because I was raising kids. And then went on for my MBA so I could really get into the business side of healthcare, which I love. So happy to answer any questions that anybody has. Thanks so much.
Mary Jo Ramirez.
Well, good morning, ladies. This is my first time to be here at the Young Women's Career Conference. And I am so excited to know that your mayor put this together because she believes in you as young women and she knows what you're capable of. Today, take advantage of everybody in this room and really, really speak to them about how did they get on that career path? Because everybody has their story. It's written inside of us. For me, I've been with California Family Life Center. It's a nonprofit. We have foster care, kin care, youth opportunity centers throughout Riverside County. We also do a program called Safe Care, working with Child Protective Services in a variety of ways. My degree, I'm a social worker, and so I'm real excited to every day be working in my community and just to give and to look at the changes that happen for community members, for families, because it's about family and keeping families together. I've been at California Family Life Center for 28 years. I am proud to say I'm the executive director. I did not start in that role, but was able to get promoted and to go into that role. And I have been in the work, oh my goodness, I don't even want to say, it's 40 plus years. So anyway, thank you for having me, and I am delighted. And come and talk to me if you're interested in nonprofit, a social work, therapist, whatever. Just come in and talk to me. Thanks.
Leah Di Bernardo. Leah Di Bernardo.
Thanks, cutie. All right, everybody stand up. We got to get the blood back in your bodies. I see some of you falling asleep. Come on, get up with me. And if we had a little music, I'd make you shake it out, right? So just a quick yoga move. All the way up. Come on. There we go. Then all the way down. Shake it out. Then you get to shake it out. All right. I just wanted to wake you all up again. Yeah, you needed it, right? It's early. It's early for some of us. Get up at 6 o'clock to be here. Whose idea was that? Okay. Anyway, I go by Leah Delight. I use my middle name because it's a stripper's name, and it seems to be more of a marketing name. No, I'm kidding, but that's what all my friends said when I was going through film school, and I took a career path to MTV to be an out-of-house director and producer. I got to do both. It was a really amazing experience that I ended up tripping and falling and failing. And I want to tell you, there's going to be a lot of micro failures in your life. Embrace them because they grow you. Hopefully they grow you, right? Because you learn from your mistakes. So not that my next career path was a mistake, it wasn't. But I wanted to produce food. I wanted to tell stories in food because I noticed at MTV in our documentary department, we had an overwhelming problem with health and wellness, mental health. So I got to work on a campaign called Change Your Mind. And we pushed it out to a younger generation, and this was in '98. It went on radio, it went on TV, and it went to print in Spanish and in English. And the whole concept was around mental wellness, and calling it brain health, and not being ashamed of having any form of depression. That led me to food, right? Because there's this connection with our food system and what's happening within our corporate America food system and how we're so well marketed to. So I took that and I decided I'm going to open a restaurant. I don't know how. I've never done it. I know I can cook. So I went really fast. I didn't even think. I didn't stop. That helped me because there's so many barriers within that industry, and I had no idea about the barriers because I moved quickly and I wasn't going to let anybody tell me I couldn't do it. So that was my second career. And I really think that's about it. If you have any questions about film production, I still work in that world a little bit today. We're actually trying to figure out how to revive that campaign around mental health and wellness, which is really exciting. And I work with Rancho Family Medical Group. I work with a lot of doctors in town around health and wellness and what that means and how we can live a really vibrant and joyful life, because isn't that what it's about? Amen to that. All right. So any questions, come and grab me.
Robin Johnson.
That's right, but not professionally. I mean, you were not guilty of that murder. Not at all. Okay. I'm Robin Johnson. I have been an attorney, and Marianne can figure out how old I am. In January, it'll be 41 years. So, and I love it, or I wouldn't be doing it for 41 years. My background is that I'm from Ohio. I went to grad school in Connecticut, and I got my law degree from UConn. Anyone going to UConn? Yes, Huskies. And, yes. And who's the U of Michigan person here? Yeah, I'm a Buckeye, but hey, that's okay. No. No. They played really well. That was a great game. Yeah, they were great. I practice criminal defense. And it's so much fun. I can't wait to get those police reports with every case and see what the mystery is. I love it. And people who are accused of committing a crime might not have done it. If they did do it, they need someone to hold their hand through the system. It's not that they're going to get off. Marianne barely got off of that murder rap, but she did. Yeah, but it's really, really fun. My parents thought I was crazy when I went to law school because back then women were nurses, teachers, or secretaries. My mom was a teacher, and that's what we did. But no, I was one of a handful of women in my law school class, and it was great. We had to try harder, but that's okay. Yeah, now it's like half women. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, so if you have any questions about law school or going into law, what you should do undergrad, which I recommend psychology, come see me. Thank you.
Julie No.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Marianne, thank you for starting this. It's such an amazing thing. I wish I had something like this when I was growing up, because at 18, let me tell you, I didn't know what I was going to do. I wish. I always said my parents probably thought I was going to be at home forever because I didn't know where I was going or what I was doing. I did end up on a 10-year college track. I'm sure some of us know that track. And graduated from Chapman University, but started junior college. I jokingly, Chapman University. I always jokingly say I visited every junior college in San Diego, even the ones that were obscure and you'd never heard of. I have at least 2 classes and 1 semester there. So when I started college, when I started Chapman University, I remember when the registrar said, "Can you send in your college transcripts?" I was like, "Oh, that's going to take me a minute." And I had to email everybody and say, "I really need this," but it's just so funny trying to figure it out. I just love what I do, and I happenstanced into it. I guess I would consider myself a business owner more than an insurance agent, but I am an insurance agent. I'm a State Farm agent. But I did open up a second business, and people will tell you, I love the idea of owning something and making it your own. And I get to define what I do every day as an insurance agent. And for me, that is to do that, grow my team, grow them into what they want to become and what they want to do. And I always say the best day of my life is if they take off and do something different. But I get to be their platform. So that's really my favorite day. And I guess that's it for me.
Lisa Mispika.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I remember back in the day when I used to be at these conventions here, and I was blessed to be in it, and I remember that maybe about 10% took full advantage of it. What I would say to you all as a 3-time Olympian, I was a valedictorian at Temecula Valley. I was born in Torrance. I was raised in Temecula. Thank you. Temecula was good to me. Temecula was good to my family. And right there in Temecula Valley High School, where's my Bears? Yeah, I love you all. I love you all. I know it's very competitive. It's very competitive. Hopefully you all go to college, because there's nothing like it when that spirit that you have inside and I'm all over the place, but that's what I just speak out my heart. But at the end of the day, I went to Temecula Valley. I went off to the University of South Carolina, so I'm a Gamecock SEC Hall of Famer. And what I was able to do there is become a 5-time academic All-American. But I want you to know, as a valedictorian, it wasn't because I was not a genius. I had a 4.5 GPA and a 700 SAT. I know, right? Drop the mic. That didn't make sense. That made 0 sense. 400 just to sign your name. But what do you think the 4.5 GPA meant to a recruiter? That girl will do whatever it takes. She will stay eligible. She will be a brand ambassador. She will get involved in everything on campus. She will be a leader for the team. So I want to tell you all, SATs, ACTs, standardized tests are hard. But to have an unaverage work ethic, which I did, which I know every single woman in here, there's a story behind all of our eyes. And you got to ask for those stories. Because at the front, we look polished. But you need to get deeper. Miss Edwards, Mayor Edwards, did not get to be 12 years, but the only female on an all-male staff industry, right, without having a story. You all are printing your story right now. And what I would say, as an academic All-American who had such a hard time with standardized testing, but went into the science degrees, I was kinesiology with a minor in science, but I stayed after. I was early, I was late, I stayed nonstop. The teachers were irritated by me. I was a poker, poke. I need extra credit. I got an F. And I can do it again. Can I do it again? No, you can't do it again. Yes, I can do it again. I will write papers. So you guys are here because of obviously you're workers. Don't get it twisted. There's nothing sexy about how we got where we got. It's not sexy. Boy, it is ugly. But that's why you're here. Ask us these questions. Ask us, extract from us what we learned, and then it would be a bankruptcy if you don't do something with it tomorrow. Right? So, thank you. I love this stuff. My energy's high, so I'll stop because I know it's about you all today. But at the end of the day, please, I'm the owner of the Beyond Today Sports Institute. It's where we're changing lives through the power of education and mental wellness. I am not a psychiatrist, but I have lived. And so my psychology is from life. We preach hope. We teach resilience. And ladies, please, if you get the opportunity to come to my table, I have my director here, my husband here. Who are my athletes? Who wants to go to college and play sports? If you don't see me, you don't want to go to college and play sports. You better come see me. Come to that table out there. I know it's kind of weird. Come to the table out there and sign up, and I will tell you how to get to college and find that scholarship. Thank you.
Paula Crowell.
Hello. I am the person who didn't know what I was doing. So if you're one of those ladies who have no idea what you're doing, but know that your parents said you can't stay here, you got to go somewhere, come talk to me, because that was me at 17. I was a high school senior, and I'm going to say this. I was also the kid who wanted to do the most and the least at the same time. How many of us have gone to the teacher and said, what do I have to do to get an A? Because that's what I was doing. Like, just tell me what I have to do to get this A. I'm not doing it anymore. Just tell me what I have to do to get that, right? And so that was not good, what your parents telling you to get out. Because I was like, well, somebody tell me what I have to do. I don't know. But you can find a way. And so one of the things I would like to say is the city has an amazing internship program. If you are not interning, whatever grade level you are, if you're not interning right now, be an intern somewhere. Shakira has a song called Try Everything. It's super exciting and kind of cheesy, but it's serious, right? Try everything, right? And the sooner you start, the better chance you have to find what you like and do it for longer, so that you're not like us people on our second career who are just now realizing what we love and have to do it only part of the time. So see Charles, get involved. I am not just saying this. I have 2 people that work for me now that started as interns. Charles knows I am his intern woman. If you want to intern in the city in technology, come see Charles. You want to intern anywhere in the city, and maybe you don't even know what you want to do, but you have a summer. Come spend it here, right? Just pick something, right? And one thing that you'll learn is, I don't want to do that. And so that's one thing you can cross off the list. That's just as important, right? I'm going to also echo a couple of things that I heard Randy and your principal from Great Oak say. There's a teacher shortage. There's a government worker shortage. The really good news for you guys is there are free student loan programs. So if you decide you want to be a teacher, the government will forgive your student loans. If you decide you want to go into government work, like Randy and I, the government will forgive your loans. The government is about to forgive my student loans in just a few more little payments. Just a few more little payments. So if you're stressed out about college, how you're going to afford it, how you're going to pay for it, take that step, right? Take that first step, take that loan. I know it's scary, but know that there are ways that this can not be for the rest of your life. I know that a lot of people, especially you guys coming out of the pandemic, are hearing things about debt and, everything's so expensive. Don't let that worry you. Stay focused, one step at a time, and things work out the way they're supposed to. Just remember that. Maybe not always how you had them envisioned. I'm also one of those kind of type A personalities, right? Where I want it my way. No, you couldn't guess that, huh? But just realize that sometime that door closes for you to go into the door that you're meant to go into, okay? So stay open, try everything, try it early.
And our last one, Christine Damko.
Hi, good morning. My name is Christine Damko, and I am the Economic Development Manager here for the city of Temecula. And when I say economic development, people automatically think I deal with numbers or the finance department, and that's probably anything but. That's probably the opposite of what I do. I'm really a business ambassador. I work with businesses, and my favorite thing to do is retail attraction. So I work to attract retailers or businesses to Temecula, and then I work to make sure the businesses that are here are happy. So yes, I love retail attraction. And another thing that I do is I manage the city's communication efforts. So I hope that you're following the city of Temecula on social media, Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. We're working on trying to be more cooler with TikToks and Reels. So we're working on that as well. And it's just so exciting. If I have any advice, is just to be true to yourself. I have struggled with that in my career, and just follow your heart and take a chance. I do that constantly every day. Especially with the communications efforts, it's, how can we push the limit in government? And that's one of my passions. So thank you.
And our last mentor is Shauna, our photographer. Anybody interested in photography?
I was not expecting that.
Of course not. Of course not.
Okay, so my background, I have a degree in theater from San Diego State, so I don't know if anybody else is. And I always wanted to go into the arts. And kind of fell into the photography path because I have a daughter that's really involved in the arts and done about over 50 shows at the community theater. And I met Bea and Erica, and mostly Bea. She's I have to say Bea Barnett is I love her. And I kind of fell into the photography. I understood it. I understood the dancing and the arts and the anticipation of actors and musicians. And it's always been a passion of mine to be around the arts. And then it kind of fell into that. Fell into a city opportunity, basically. So, and I've kind of went around the whole route of the city, different departments, and I get to be here at all these events and meet all these interesting people. And I have to say, every department is very special. They're all supportive. Photography, it's a magical thing. I'm documenting. I feel like I'm making history. And you meet a lot of interesting people along the way, and there's not just one branch of photography. I mean, I love the arts. Probably first and foremost, that would be a theatrical photographer, but all the events and all the people that I meet along the way, and whether it be families and just, I think everybody, and even the council members, and everybody's supportive, and Mayor Marianne, and thank you for everything. Yes, tall and thin. She always says tall and thin, and young. Tall, thin, and young. So. And anyway, so that's kind of my background, and thank you for always having me be a part of the city and all the events. Thank you.
Okay, everyone. We're going to give you 15 minutes to talk to your mentors at your table. If you don't have any questions, we place some questions on your table and spend a little time together, okay? And I'll DJ some music for you.
Okay, I just want to remind you all that we do have a sign-up sheet on your table, so just make sure you write your name down on that so that we can get your names. Yes. For the next, can we also get another round of applause for all our mentors? They did an incredible job. Okay, now we're going to be moving on to our panel discussion, and Miss Randy Joel will be monitoring that. Ms. Randy Joel is the city clerk, as you all heard before, and also the director of legal affairs. And she does so much more for this city. Thank you. Yes.
All right. So this is always my favorite time of this conference because we get to moderate a discussion with all of us. So we will ask our panelists, Amy, Paula, Marianne, Julie, and Robin, to go ahead and come up. The girls have actually created some questions, so these questions did not come from any one of us. They came from them. We have 35 minutes. We have 35 minutes and 6 questions. So, actually 7 questions. So, not everybody will get to answer every question. And ladies, I am going to ask you to please be concise in your answers so that we can get through as many of these questions as possible. So first and foremost, how many of you guys got some really good information from your mentors at your tables? Yay! Let's go ahead and have a round of applause again for that. That's really, really important. And remember, these 2 hours are not your end-all, be-all. You guys will be able to contact any of us after the fact as well. Okay, so mentors, since we have already heard a little bit about your background, we'll start with question number 1, and Amy will go to you. Briefly and concisely share with us, why did you decide to go into your current field as a principal of an education institution? Yes, I think you could. There you go.
Okay, hopefully that works. I never put my hand up and said, pick me for principal. I think some of you will find that you're just natural born leaders. How many of you feel like I've got a little bit of natural born leader in me? People tend to follow me. Put your hand up. Let me see.
Oh, come on.
Right?
It's in there.
So that you find yourself in these roles. I was a captain of a team in high school. I worked in ASB in high school. In college, I was a 2-time captain of my volleyball team. You know, people find traits in you. I'm the oldest of 4 kids. Maybe it started there. And so essentially, I just kept finding myself in leadership positions. And when I was hired 22 years ago at Temecula Valley High School, and then was offered an opportunity by our former superintendent, Tim Ritter, to come over. I was just telling my table to come over and start Great Oak High School. Was one of 8 English teachers who opened that high school and worked really hard to create a culture there that I'm really proud of. That, we really push an academic mindset there, an involvement mindset, and then I think just opportunities for students to connect with things, and that has a lot of value. And so I found myself at some point with different people having conversations about administration, went into administration as an assistant principal, then next year I was the principal. So it's weird how things happen that way. But just taking advantage of opportunities, I think that's the other thing. So I've heard Marianne for many years say yes. When people provide opportunities for you, jump in with both feet and give it your whole heart, whole 110%, and do the best that you can. And that's really, I think, how I've landed where I have. For 6 years, I've survived this role. So,
awesome, thank you. Paula, this one I think is perfect for you, being in the tech industry, which is changing, but still. What advice can you give to young women about being successful in a male-dominated field? Remember, we need lots of STEM. We need lots of STEM. So how many of you want to go into some sort of STEM?
Paula.
Oh, lots of STEM interest in the room. Okay, good. All right, Paula, it's all yours.
So it is changing. Okay, there we go. It is changing, right? The career fields are changing. More of us are stepping up. But when I started this few years ago, it was not, right? And I would go into the room and I would be probably the only woman, definitely the only person that looked different than the other people in the room. And, well, that's it. There was some biases, right? That people thought I was here because of diversity, meaning we had to hire her because we need a woman, not because I was there because I was smart. But one of the things that women have as our secret power that I'm going to share with you right now, okay, is men will do whatever we want them to do. Okay?
right? We just have to remember that and be smarter. Remember, okay?
And it's so easy.
They will do whatever we want them to do. The key to that is not letting them know that, okay? You'll hear a lot of women say, my husband thinks he's in charge. That's the key, right? And so in a male-dominated field, the key is to get them to do what we want them to do. They will do it. You know, we just have to remember that, right? And I'm saying that in everything we do, right? One thing that I'll say, and I'll try to make this quick, is people want to be part of something. Remember that always, because that's going to be your key to success, is if you make something exciting and make it something that people want to be a part of, people will give their all. And use that, right? Use that. You be part of that. You be part of that community and watch how people will give back. But I would say, try to remember that. Remember your secret power, okay? I told you all here.
Awesome. Thank you, Paula. Madam Mayor.
I wanted that question.
Yeah, I know you did, Madam Mayor. So the same question to you, because for those of you guys that may not be totally familiar with government right now, there are 482 cities in the state of California, okay? 482 cities in the state of California, of which Temecula is one. Those 482 cities, on average, are run by 5 council members. Some cities have a little bit more, especially if they're charter, like 7 or 9, especially for the big ones like San Diego, Los Angeles, Oakland, so on and so forth. But on average, 5. That means there are 2,500 approximately city council members in the state of California. The majority of those council members are male. So, and generationally, that has been so. So, Madam Mayor, what advice, briefly and concisely, can you give to young women about being successful in a male-dominated field?
Well, obviously, we, first of all, do not let my Mary Poppins bubbly exterior allow you to think that I cannot be fierce and competitive and very strong. So if you get the look, you know, like my kids got the look, and I don't do that very often at City Hall because we're all family and it's great here, but I was the only female on the council for 12 years. We've always had a very stable council, and I think that's one reason Temecula's been able to accomplish so much, because we have people working long-term on projects. So, and in that group, I always knew how to bring something up that would be of interest to the males on the council. And I'm not going to lie, there were times when I felt like I was getting I was always so small, the pat on the head. But I didn't really put up with that. So if I would get the pat on the head, then whoever did it to me would get this in the cheek. You just have to be strong, and you have to be able to read people, read their body language, read their reactions to what you're saying. Not that you're going to change your message, but you may change the way you deliver your message. So I always said I never had any trouble getting, you know, what I wanted when I thought it was a good idea, but it's a matter of being able to sell and just like Paula said, make things exciting. And my motto is, if it's not fun, I probably wasn't involved. So you have to be able to read people and deal with people in the way they want to be dealt with and treated, not necessarily the way that, you know, I want to treat them, but you have to be able to read people, and that you do that just through observation. Some people are born that way, but you do it just by watching and see what happens. I ended up on the city council because when we moved here in 1988, it was such a small town, and we went to the council meetings for fun when the city was incorporated. So that tells you about the fun factor in Temecula in 1989. But we loved it. And so again, you're geared that way. I just loved it, and because I was so involved in the city, all different kinds of nonprofit organizations, and I came to the city council meetings and I spoke on behalf of the nonprofits, and so I was asked to run. I was asked to run for city council, and then I was asked to run for school board, which I did, and I won, and then I was appointed. I was a city commissioner And then I was appointed to the city council in 2005 and have won elections every 4 years since my fourth term as mayor. But, oh, thank you. It's a labor of love, and it's fun. It's very trying sometimes. You have to get thick skin because, especially over the last year and a half, it's been, everybody's so polarized. Even though we are not political on the council, potholes, Democrat or Republican, neither. So we're not really political, but people want to bring that into city government because they're angry. So you just have to be able to read people and deal with them in the way that they want to be treated.
Awesome. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
And it's just one more step toward total world domination.
There's that.
And then there's that.
Okay, so fun fact, the mayor and council members, how many of you guys think that they make a good amount of money doing what they do? Okay. They make a whopping $600 a month for what they do. They do this because they genuinely love to serve the community. So we do not have a directly elected mayor or any of that. They all have day jobs unless they're retired. Yay! And our Madam Mayor is retired, finally. I think, Madam Mayor, you mentioned something about knowing your audience when you are communicating with them. So that leads me to just a brief, anybody that comes into your life, personally or professionally, the way I think we can look at it is there's 4 categories of folks, right? There are advocates, there are supporters, there are skeptics, and there are active resistors. And your advocates are going to be your cheerleaders nonstop. Your supporters, because they love you, they like you, they're just going to, go to go along with you. Your skeptics, you're going to be able to give them information, and possibly they become supporters as well, or they don't. Your active resistors, the goal is never, ever, ever to change their mind. It's to listen and hear and meet people where they are at. So that's what, when she talks about, understanding your audience, personally or professionally, know what category your audience is falling into. That brings us to fabulous Julie. And Julie, the next question is, what obstacles have you faced in pursuing your career, and what did you learn from those obstacles? You ladies did a fantastic job with these questions. These are hard questions. Yes. What obstacles have you faced in pursuing your career, and what did you learn from those obstacles?
Okay, so obstacles that I've encountered. Thank you. Oh, you're a professional at this. Thank you. Ooh, that's really loud. So I think that 2 things that I learned when I became when I applied to become a State Farm agent. I was an event planner for years, and that's a very diverse and different world. It was a lot of fun down in San Diego. But once I got into this world, it's a little bit more corporate. It's a little bit more, I guess every field has always been male-dominated, so we're going to keep hearing that theme. And then we get to change that and make it better. So I think for me, it was 2 things that's funny. I'm in what the insurance field would consider a general market, which means that I'm Asian and my population that I'm serving is not, whereas a lot of my fellow agents will go into the population that they are. So their community. So my perfect community to State Farm had been like Orange County and things like that, where I didn't want to be. I was from San Diego, and moving north was what worked for us. So that was one thing, really getting them to accept me and letting me open an agency here, and then supporting me throughout that, knowing that I was in a general market. So that was a really different thing. And then the second thing is being a woman, because most insurance agents, if you've ever met them in any company is usually a man. It's so much different now, though. I mean, there's so many more women in the field than there are as many women as there are men. But both of those things made it really hard. I was telling my table just a story about one of my first meetings with a guy, and it's such an awkward situation. I was so new, and I am one of those people that I'm quiet and I sit and I listen, and I can be fierce when I need to be, but in that particular situation, I think I was just flabbergasted. So I just sat, but that's probably my biggest obstacle, is being Asian in a population that wasn't built for me, which now I will tell you, I say that back in 2005, and today it is exactly what it was for me. This is like my family, my home, I love it. But back then it was a really hard sell for my company to put me here. So
awesome, thank you. Well, we are glad that you are here, Julie. And Robin, actually the same, you're a defense attorney, so defense criminal attorney. So same question, what obstacles have you faced in pursuing your career, and what did you learn from those obstacles?
It's obviously a man's world in law, especially my first 35 years being a lawyer. It's all men, which I love. Being a single person in LA when I started,
I loved it too.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Just suits everywhere. I loved it. But anyway, I digress.
I know what she means. I know exactly what she means.
The women lawyers often get the reputation of being bitchy because we have to be assertive in what we're doing in front of a jury and otherwise. I found that I love going against strong men or women because I am not bitchy. I try to be very sweet and relate to jurors and other people and not come across as I'm acting. In law, you have to satisfy so many different people. You have to satisfy your client. You have to satisfy their family. You have to satisfy the district attorney. You have to satisfy the judge. And in a lot of cases, you have to satisfy the probation officer or the social worker. So it's really important, I think, to have a background in psychology so you can get to know how to please these various people. And it takes a long time to learn that. A lot of us have been talking about knowing your audience, and you really have to. A man's world in criminal law, it definitely is there. A lot of women, especially when I started, used to go into family law, where you sit and do contracts and deal with all those people complaining about everything, or civil law or contract law, but that's not for me. I don't like writings. Bless you. I like to be out there in public.
Are you in the courtroom a lot?
Every day.
Because I see you in the courtroom.
I'm in the courtroom every day because that's what I do. I don't do contracts or anything. But not in trial. I haven't had a trial in years. I won't go to trial during the pandemic because I don't want to have a trial where my client and everyone's wearing a mask, and I'm trying to show that my client didn't rob that bank and he's wearing a mask and looks like he robbed a bank. So most of us private attorneys have been pushing off our trials, but there's still, most cases settle. 98% of criminal cases settle with a plea bargain because you just can't, there's not enough courtrooms or judges to go to trial and everything, and you just want to work out a deal that's satisfactory for everyone.
Thank you.
I hear a common theme here.
Yeah. Okay, so how many of you would say you have a strong mentor in your life, whether it's a male or female mentor? All right, so there is opportunity for some of you to find one. And sometimes it happens at school, and sometimes it could be an aunt or an uncle, sometimes it's an older cousin, but definitely mentorship in your life is really important personally and professionally, especially in challenging times. Your tribe will get you through the most challenging times of your life. With that, Amy, well, actually, I'll open it up to anybody. Do any of you have a female mentor in your life who inspired you along your career path? And if you can briefly and succinctly. Okay, Madam Mary Ann.
So when I was asked to run for the school board, and I was asked by Barbara Tooker, and Barbara Tooker served on this school board for 17 years, and she was a teacher, an administrator, and a principal. She had done everything, and so it made her a very good, well-rounded school board member. Plus, she was very active in the California School Boards Association, which is a state association of school board members and school districts. So, and I had been a school mom always, room mom. I was always at the school site. I was, with the teachers, love the teachers. So I was familiar with that part of it. But when I joined the school board, it's very complex because the ed code, if you piled it in a big stack, it's like 9 feet tall of paper. So, and it's much more difficult to be a school board member than it is a city council member because school districts never have enough money. And that is the key to a lot of things, everything. And she was such a great mentor for me. She never embarrassed me by saying, well, you should have done. I mean, she'd always call me on the phone and say, and she'd start out with, "You did so great today because," and then, but she just taught me without even, me. I knew she was teaching me, but without being preachy about it. She was wonderful. And I think I was a pretty good school board member. And I don't brag about myself often, but I think I was because I listened and I did my homework and I knew the ed code and I learned so much over those 4 years and with Barbara's tutelage, and I still talk to her. I just love her. She's funny, and she loves everything about education as well. So, if you have a mentor, you want somebody that loves what they do and loves helping you or helping other people to love what they do. So Barbara Tooker was it for me.
That's awesome. I know we're going to have to start wrapping it up because we have a raffle and get you guys all back.
We just got here.
I know. But I think we have time for if anybody else has a strong mentor that they'd like to share about. Robin?
I just want to say I did not have a mentor. I was discouraged from going into law because girls didn't do that back then in the olden days. But I am a mentor. And if anyone is interested in law, please see me, take my card, and I want to encourage you in any way. I'll take you to court with me, walk you through anything you want.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is awesome. And I think, too, thank you, Robin. And don't close yourself off to having male or female mentors. There is a fantastic retired city attorney in Orange County by the name of Alan Burns, partner at Harper & Burns. And I finished undergrad under that man's watch, law school. He worked around my schedule when I was a mom and daycare and everything else. I still call him the original boss. Yes, and I started as their front office receptionist and left 8 years later as their senior law clerk after graduating from law school. So you will find mentors and people who want to lift you up in all places professionally and personally, including here in the city of Temecula. So with that, I'll turn it back over to the ladies so they can do the raffle.
Okay, so you all have a raffle ticket. Just look at it for now. And we have a lot of gifts to send out, so let's try to make this quick.
All right, I'm going to start announcing the numbers of the raffle winners.
So the gift and then.
Yeah. So first we have our Tumblr gifts. They have a bunch of sweets, and they also have a $10 gift card attached to them. So we're going to be announcing those winners first. All right. So we have the raffles right here. Our first winner will be 615672. Again, that's 615672. All right. Yeah. All right, and our next winner is 615668. Again, 615-668. All right.
Let's continue on with like the crepes. Stir them up, stir them up, stir them up.
All right. Our next winner is 615-763. Again, 615-763. All right.
Try it again.
All right. And our last winner of our Tumblr prizes is 615642. All right. All right. And now we...
I want to offer a teaching moment right now. So, pull. What's the next ticket for?
Oh, we're doing Amazon.
Okay, so this is how you do raffle tickets. 615. 6. How many of you are still alive? 615 665.
I could do that. Yes, I could do that.
See, if it's not fun, I'm probably not involved. Okay, so you got to make it suspenseful.
Yes, I will do so. Thank you so much. Yes.
Next is another Amazon gift card. So you got one more chance for this.
All right. 615. Yeah. 693. 615-693. All right. And we were also given a few prizes from Lisa, our Olympian, so thank you to her. All right. Yes. All right. So our winner will be 615757. Yeah. Our next winner will be 615748. Okay. And our last prize will be our shirt. T-shirt, yes. All right, so this one will be 615751.
Ask Marianne to come up for closing, and then we'll do a photo.
All right, now that as our conference is coming to an end, I would like to introduce again Mary Ann for her closing speech. Thank you.
Thank you. This always goes so fast. It's the fastest 2 hours in the universe. And we know that we could have had probably another 100 girls here easily. We had to, tell Amy and the other principals, we don't have room for any more. So I'm going to work on that and see if I can find us a much larger venue. And we'll see what we do for next year. I'd like to up this to where we could accommodate 500 girls, and I think we easily could, especially if we open it up to Linfield, Rancho Christian, and those are the same ones that we do for Student of the Month. And because all young women are important, not just our 3 high schools, 4 high schools. So I hope that the mentors are going to stay around for a little bit, because I know I have people at my table asking for, different ones of you mentors, because they want to come and talk to you. I am so impressed and so proud and so happy to think that you will be running the nation in the future. You'll be working, you'll be spreading your joy, spreading your knowledge, and spreading your acceptance and your promotion of other young women, because we're the ones that have to do it, as moms, as mentors, as business people, as bosses. So thank you so much for coming. And Charles, he never tells you, but it's Dr. Charles Walker from Yale. Make that Harvard. That's right. So, and he would never tell you, but I would tell you, I know, how did I forget that? I've been saying that for 15 years. So maybe it was, I don't know. So, and he has wonderful interns that have helped with this, putting this together. So when you're an intern for the city, you work. You work on projects. You just aren't, filing papers and doing those things. When you work at the city, you are actually in it and working. So, God, please consider that. And you're going to, contact Charles. You can look him up. There's a city app, and you can go on the city app and find everything. So once again, thank you so much for coming. Mentors, we love you. And, Temecula is great because of people like you and because of students like you coming up. Please come back and share your success with us. Move here, raise your families here, bring your talent here. That's what makes Temecula wonderful. So thanks so much. Mentors are going to hang around, so girls, take advantage.
Hey, so what we're going to do right now is welcome everybody who's interested in the future of being an intern. You can always contact me, charles.walker@temeculaca.gov. Also, let's give it up for this group right here. These are our youth innovators who helped put this together. If you're interested in being an innovator, you can get that information right there. And before it rains, we're going to take a group photo outside on the steps, okay? And then it's up to you what you do.